Well, hello. Let me turn myself up because I can hear myself again because I don't learn. So, how's everyone doing on this fine? In fact, I don't even know what day it is. It's a Wednesday. So, I'm going to carry on with the Copper Monkey series today. I'm just going to see if I can remember where the hell I was up to. So, if I remember correctly, we were improving the arguments that we're passing in, adding validation, and starting to work on data repository. Update DTO, so we're moving save the correct model to the database. Okay, that was done. Then let's write up some unit tests and get the ball rolling. Really? Is that what we want to do so far? Create a factory new function for the payment request. Oh yeah, I remember. If we look at payment request, he says, I'm sure there's a file in here. No, good start. Payment request. So here we go. We've got a payment request there. Find definitions, go to declarations, move search. Need to work out what the LSPs are for this. Go to declaration. Well, we're in it. We'll just do that. Okay. Oh, what I did forget to do is turn on my key mappings so you can see what I'm typing. Okay. So we had this client add payment data request, I think. And what we were doing was we were creating a new instance of it here, a client payment request. The data that's here so is just for holding the data for the command. And then what we've got is we transpose that data from the command out into a repository model entity, and then that gets put in. But we realize there's a little bit of business logic here. There's like a pending that's the same every time you new one up. There's an action which will hopefully come to life once there's more events going on. And there's of course the fact that it's an instance of this. So if we have a look at that, and let's go and see where they are. I should be able to jump to definition. Yeah, I can. If I go back, yeah. So jump to definition, my fingers are beginning to come to life. What to do, set up request ID and date request, status and action. Oh yeah, that was just, I remember now. When we finished the video, I was going to come up with an idea of newing it up. And we've got this function, new client payment request. And that will basically just new up this object. So if we look at things like this, you have this type of stuff. If I dive to here, what I should be able to do really is kind of paste this in, and maybe customer ID should be something that gets passed in as an argument, because if you're making a client payment request, you're probably always going to have a customer ID. So the problem is we're doing a new up like this is that how many stuff do you actually pass in as parameters and how many things do you have that's hard coded? So typically if we look at this, request, customer ID, amount, first name, surname, email, and status, well, all of these are arguments. That's a lot of bloody arguments to stick in a constructor. Let's have a look. Let's just let's ChatGPT. So let's show patterns for creating new instances of Go struts where we have properties. Could we call them properties that need initializing? Are you American? I think that's spelled right. Initializing. So we've got a person, we've got an age, name and an age, and what we're doing is we've got a person and we can new it up. But of course, what we could do is new person. This is what I was talking about here. You can pass in parameters. So, you know, here we can pass in the parameters for the customer ID, amount, first name, surname, email address, and then things like the request ID and pending. These things would be hard coded or part of the prototype. So these things would always be just hard coded. And then this stuff, if we look at that, if this would work, don't know why that didn't work. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that and then do dot. So data, let's get rid of them. So they become then variables. Oh, let's format that buffer. And then each one of these becomes a parameter. Is there a better way? I wonder if ChatGPT knows. Another one is to have an object that you pass in, but that gets out to hand as well, because then you've got an object to pass in to a constructor of an object. What the bloody hell creates that? You know, if you have an object which is designed to create you a new object and you pass in objects into that object, how far in that chain does that start to go pear-shaped? So if we have a look at that, let's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I read somewhere there's like a golden rule of parameters, and I'm sure it's 5, unless I've just completely and utterly made that up. I think I might have made that up. So what's another way? I'll use a factory. Okay. So new person. When initializing involving more complex factory function is useful. So yeah, this is where you can actually copy data from one object to another object. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if I can copy the data from the data module object into a new person, basically doing a DTO translation. So basically the new payment request gets the new payment request data as its object, and therefore does the translation. So you can see how I've got data here, because this, if we look at data, this is a client payment request. Where is that? That's in types. So it's not technically available. However, I could move it into the repository. Where it gets tricky, you know. It's like you end up in a scenario where it's like, you know, where do you put stuff? Where should all your classes, structs, DTOs, models, and entities live? And you know, I think that kind of stuff gets fleshed out after a while. I'm not actually happy with moving that into the repository, because I really do think that that's a bad idea. However, worse things have happened, you know. Definitely worse things have happened. So now we can't find that. I think I didn't yank it. Let's yank it, just to be clear. Yank it. Okay. Then let's go back to here. Let's paste it in. Okie pokey. Yep. Now we've got that. Let's just write that to the buffer, shall we? Let's dive back to here and get rid of this one. Now what I should be able to do is that I should say data is actually an instance of repository. Add client. A lot of changes without testing. I really need to write some tests. So what I can do is say client payment. Come on. Request equals new client payment request. Is that what it was called? Yeah, new client payment request. Cannot use that one per shirt. Oh, would that be repository new client payment request? And it's showing to pass in data, which is interesting. But obviously that's just a chat GPT thing, not an LSP thing. So if I write that, it's kind of worked out what I want to do. You know, too many arguments now the LSP is kicking in, saying you can't actually do that. If I jump to definition, what I should be able to do now is say insert let's insert what is it? It's data, and it's going to be a add client payment request. Request data. There we go. I took out all the data. Now I'm going to put them back in. I can never remember the shortcut. There's like some Vim thing that allows you to select multiple rows, and I can never remember it. It's something like V, then down. No, let's select, is it capital V and down? No. B and J. No. I'll give up in a sec. V, capital J. Oh no, that's moving the whole unit up and down. There is a way of being able to just like select a stripe and then insert data into it. Because otherwise what I've got to do is begin, insert data. It's not the end of the world. Insert data. It's just a bit stupid. Again, insert data. Again, insert data. Begin, insert data. Okay. Undefined. Where did that come from? There we go. Okie pokey. Well, let's get rid of that. So now what we're able to do is we're able to create a new instance of the client payment request using the client payment request data. Not a fan, but let's live with it. And now what we're able to do is we're able to create a instance of our client payment assignment mismatch, one variable, but repository returns what? What does it return? Probably nothing actually. No. Oh, um, this is another one. Um, I'm a big fan of returning errors in as much cases as you can. Data or error, and that allows the programmer to actually think it through and do it. I'm also a big fan of passing in a channel, with a cancellation channel or a done channel that allows you to actually call a method and say, right, do this, but watch out if done gets called, cancel. And that's pretty cool for asynchronous stuff. However, um, you got to think about what's going to error and what is actually going to happen in real life. Is this really going to error? Um, you could potentially have an error with the GUID. You could have errors potentially with the data that you're passing in. I don't even, we'll do this in testing, but I think this is no safe and things like that. But it's a good point, don't even know if Go has option types. I think it does. If not, you can create one pretty easily. So at the moment, what I decided to do was to return a client payment request or an error, but I haven't got anything to error on, have I, really? I can't see any of that erroring. So let's get rid of that, right? Okay. Okay. No new variable on left side. Okay, yeah. Because I now no longer need you. Shouldn't need you at all. Everything should be done. Now I've got a lovely, nice, newer. It also begs the question of, was that worth it? All I've done is moved some lines of code to another line of code. But I've cleaned it up. I have got a nice place to test though, right? Because what I can do is I can test this. Given I pass this data in using a data payment request, do I get the data out? So let's write some tests around this logic. I didn't get the test to run properly. Really? Do I not even have a single test? You I'm going to put something. It's in there to do. I'd honest to God, I normally start off test-driven development. Oh, too many values. I didn't get an error in the caller. Weird. Okay. Return. Yeah, there we go. Oh, keys, pokies. Right, so undefined add client payment data request. That's because it's now moved into the repository. So we have data request customer. So customer ID check action. Well, that's part of status here. Okay, and then status, that's got like the pending cancel, that's defined there. I'm probably going to create some kind of way of doing enums to fix that data. Static. Uh, does go Static members. Yeah, I didn't think so. So, no, Go does not have the concept of static members like some object-oriented languages. However, you can achieve similar functionality using a package level variable and functions. Yeah, you just abstract it away, hide it via abstraction, so it's not mutable. Person, populate item, new person, increment population, that increments the, right, yeah. So you've got population. What the hell? Yeah, no, don't do that. So in reality, no, but I'm sure you can actually hide it behind an abstraction. So it is possible. So I want to come up with a better way of having that data instead of it being stringly typed. Right, status, amount. Yeah, we've got amount. Then we've got first name, surname, and email. So first name, surname, email, and date requested. Well, date requested is an action. Huh. Where the hell did my date requested go? What? I could have swore. Did a lot of stuff around. Should this be UTC'd or not? Mess of this now, great. Da, da, da. And then put that back. Here's the repository. Right, so I think what happened was I deleted it, didn't I, from the actual setup. So here where I've got this object, did I have it there? No, I didn't. So I can't remember what it was now. Date requested is UTC timestamp or something. Let me have a look. So I've moved the object out. I had this. New da, 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 da. Can you see it anywhere? Request amount. sorry, request customer amount, first name, surname, action. Really, am I going blind? I could have, honestly, I've got a memory of going through it. Let's just double check again. So, the request, and then we create a new client payment, customer, da da da. Oh, did I move this to the database? So let's take that out. So repository, I did, there it is. Sorry, I'm being stupid. So requested is needed, but we don't actually want to be able to provide it as a parameter. So that's another thing where it's a non-mutable type. Once it's in the database, you should only grab the data from the database, and you should only use that object from the database. It turns out that's more difficult than you would think. So we've got date requested there, that's fine, but we don't need to new it up. Right, so I have no idea if any of these changes work, right? So let me create a new shell account. Let's go into the folder, if I can remember where it is. We're in, that's not right. I expected the full path. Da, 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 da. Dev, GoLang samples, GPL Taylor. So tuning dev, GoLang samples, I hate it that it does that. G copper monkey. Okay. Let's cat the make file and make what we're doing. We're just gonna build it, yeah. Let's make builds. Knew at the time. Do you know what? I knew at the time. That I needed to store the actual variables that I was using to make everything. So let's have a look at the repository. Package, repository. Oh, we've got a readme in here. Is that? It's just a standard nonsense readme. Got readme here. Right. Okay. Did I record how to actually use a CLI? No, I didn't. That would have been useful. I'm hoping it's in memory now. So let's yank that. Let's go here. Let's paste that in. Let's get our database up and running. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then let's see if I can yank anything from memory. No, great. Oop. Bounce. Oh, that'll do, pick, that'll do. Oop. So that worked. We put that in and we got back a payment request object with some lovely data in it. So awesome. I am just going to copy this and get this put in right into I don't know where to put it. Let's put it in the make file maybe. And I'm not going to actually put a make file object in here. And I'm just going to have it as an argument there, as comment. So at least I've got it for later. I can make documentation about this and put it into the CMD documentation. But for now, I just want something that I can just keep on copying and pasting and playing about with. So that was a good start. So update the make file, update the root, update the model. So that's okay. Now let's git add make file root and ops. Okay. And in fact, I don't know why I'm doing it here when I could be doing it in the command line properly. Oh, for God's sake. Right. So we've improved the model, created a constructor. ETL, DTL, ETL, DTL. Yeah, we all know what that means, right? Cool. Awesome. So that's gone off. That's saved for later. So update DTL so we can save the correct models to the data. Yeah, we're done and double done. Then let's write some unit tests and get the ball rolling. Let's do that. Now, this is one of the things, right, with unit tests is I always hear it from other developers is that it's hard to write unit tests because you don't know what it is that you're testing and you've not wrote the code yet, so you've got nothing to test. And that's very true. It actually requires you to have a little bit more forward thinking than what I've done in this video. To be fair, I'm doing this for fun. So, you know, if you don't like it, tough. So as I'm doing this for fun, it kind of doesn't matter. But I do want to start sprinkling in a couple of unit tests just to back up the claim of what it is that I'm doing. But in doing so, there's a couple of things that I'm going to struggle with. And they are things like, you know, like mocking out the repository, making sure that there's dependency injection for these things so that I can mock out and not really hit a real database. So these are things that I need to think about. And I'll probably think about them things off camera, because there's no fun in watching me just read. That's not, if you want that, go to the Primeagen. For me, I can do that at a later date. So right up then, let's write up some unit tests. What I didn't do is I didn't double check that the data was actually in there. And what I could do with is a better way of accessing this database. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Just bear with me right there. Quit. And then in here, there we go. So readme. So what I could do with is a GUID or UI for DynamoDB. I actually don't think that DataGrip does it. So just bear with me 1 second. In fact, I don't know how to pause the stream. So that's a good question. Yeah. Oh well. Just bear with me. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to have a look at DataGrip to see if it has the ability to actually call it into DynamoDB. Because I'm sick of using the command line. It is Dynamo, right? Yeah, DynamoDB. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm just looking at it off screen because I've got a few database connections that I really don't want to share with the world. Did source DynamoDB. DynamoDB is an open standard, right? They'd probably be able to connect it with something else like MongoDB connector or something like that. Sure, it's an open standard. Anywho, so what UIs can G's can I use to connect to DB? Oh, workbench. Ugh. Ugh. No one wants to use that. Dynamo based professional GU for Dynamo offering advanced tools like querying and then Robot 3D. Okay. Dynamo based. Let's have a look at the U. Thank you, Pucky. So how much does that cost? Everything's a frigging like £2 a month for the rest of your life. Not sure I want to buy something just for a pet project, so I think more than likely I shall continue just using the CLI for now. It's fine. It's annoying having to keep running all these aliases and stuff. Aliases. Right, so that model's cleaned up. Yeah, we're only an hour in or so, I think. Let's look at the stream. yeah, 40 minutes in. So I think really now is a good time to call it quits. We managed to get a little bit of work done. We managed to transform that data, and in less than an hour, we've managed to clean that up and have a nice little object to go. So the next move that I'm going to do is to put in a unit test. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to set up the basics of a unit test, but I'm also going to look into dependency injection. Loads of videos, loads of stuff out there. It's boring. No one wants to watch someone do that. So for now, I am the Gizzard.